Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Orvana minerals. This was a stock analysis request from one of the followers and I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. Now on this chart, as we have been covering this on the previous video, we are still looking at this as a general all-time downtrend in which we are. We have the resistance area here in red up to the $3.5 level, for which we actually still need to watch out as we haven't managed to clearly break it. We did actually even get a sustained break in this area. Quite a few weeks we stayed above at the time, but we still ended up getting a failure afterwards. Now, this is not to say that this uptrend cannot go on. In fact, I may even be able to consider this a 5-wave move to the upside, in which case we are looking here at a potential 1-2 setup. And within this wave 2, we had a similar behavior as we had in the resistance area. We managed to have a sustained break, actually a couple of them. In this case, on the bearish side, we had multiple sustained breaks, but fortunately, we only managed to get 3 waves down within this structure to the downside, where the only structure that I can really assign to this is basically a WXY pattern. This is pretty much the only structure that does make a lot more sense than not. Could be maybe an ABC, but I probably prefer the other interpretation. But however, as I mentioned in the previous video as well, this is what we are considering here the bottom for the wave 2. This is where we start our uptrend count for this chart. And from here, we are looking at a potential initial 5-wave move to the upside, where we have a couple of options here on the larger movement. We have the possibility of considering this a wave 1 top, but I could argue that in some cases we may be able to allow this to be the wave 1 top. Now, it doesn't change too much, at least not at this point, because I'm not convinced that this wave C to the upside is done. In fact, I am still looking for continuation to higher prices at this point. And within this third wave, this overall wave 3, we are tracking an ABC structure since the overall pattern that is developing within this area is within a diagonal. And in that case, we have here the wave A, a wave B, down here, very tiny, very short wave B, and from this point we are tracking the wave C to the upside. And in the previous video, we were looking at the wave C within this area to form a clear 5-wave structure where we were even tracking the possibility of an impulse forming. Then we had here a backup area of support that would actually allow the uptrend to still continue, and this would be the correction area for a wave 4. However, if we don't manage to create a more clear 5-wave structure to the upside within this wave C, I may have some doubts about this general area of support. So honestly, I don't even really want to keep it on the chart right now. We should actually revisit if we end up breaking the relevant short time frame support areas. At that point, it made more sense. We hadn't completed the movement to the upside within this area. We didn't have here the 1, 2, 3, 4th, 5th complete as we do now. We have here the 5-wave pattern complete, and now we can look at a larger scale where I might argue that we have here within this movement to the upside, within this wave C, we have of course the 1, 2, 3 that we are tracking, but within the wave 3, we basically have a 1, 2, then another 1, 2 here, a third wave up, 4th wave down, and then a 5th wave within this area. And now that this wave 5 is complete, we may be looking here for an internal 1, 2, 3, 4th, and the 5th to be forming. And I could argue that this wave 5 is not necessarily done. We could see an extension within it, and if this is the actual low, I would probably prefer that idea if we don't actually extend for another low. But at this point, I do need some evidence that this is indeed going to still keep the movement up. And in this case, we can look for an area of support for the wave 4 correction. And I can even give you the levels in a moment, but it would be between the $1.4 all the way down to the $1 level. At this point, we haven't even reached the area of support. In fact, not even the 23.6% retracement. Now, sometimes we do manage to push directly higher without getting to it, but this wouldn't be necessarily my preferred interpretation if we actually end up pushing directly higher within this movement to the upside, I would prefer to consider this something like a 1-2, where we could witness quite a substantial extension within this wave 5, where yeah, this could be a 1-2, then the third wave, which is normally expected to be the strongest wave, could appear, could form, and then a fourth and a fifth could still come. Now in that case, it would be in a much shorter time frame where we would be tracking this area of support, but I suppose we could allow it here within a 1-2 setup, the area between the 1.58 the $1.6 level all the way down to the $1.3 level at the 78.6% retracement. This would be as an extension within this wave 3 to the upside, basically, where yeah, this fifth wave would not be complete at this point, at least not yet. And for now, there really isn't much else to be added. This correction, I mean this movement to the downside, does seem to have enough waves to be complete. In terms of a correction, we do have divergences, the structure looks good and looks promising for still for further continuations to the upside, and yeah, quite a few more moves to the upside could be seen, and if we get an extension here in the blue scenario, even more than that in that case. But yeah, for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.